Yo guys, Saksham, welcome back to the channel. It's been a very long time since you guys saw a video on the channel. So there are videos coming in the way, but I think this has much more priority. Today was an Apple event, and as before, let's talk about what happened today, event highlights, and let's get started. Starting off with some minor changes, I guess it depends how you see it. Apple TV Plus are getting some new shows, and also Apple Fitness has a lot more fitness workouts and it's much better, and we will talk about the watch. It ties up with that. So these are two minor ones, but next up let's just jump straight into iPads. We have two new iPads. One of them is similar or is more like an upgrade to the iPad we already existed. That's the iPad, just the name iPad. Yes, before it was iPad and then iPad Air. Now this is just called the iPad. That got an update with the new A15 chip. Your first generation Apple Pencil works with this. Talking about the cameras on the iPad, it has a better ISP. Now ISP means image signal processing. That's a unit when you click a picture on an iPad using front or back facing camera, how the image is actually analyzed, what's happening in the software for you to get the image, giving you much better images and also better low light images. Along with that, there's an upgrade on the camera. The front facing camera on the iPad is the same camera. I would say it gets the same tech from the iPad Pro series with center stage, and it's ultra wide. It's an ultra wide 120-degree I think angle one, where you can be walking around or you can have multiple people in the frame, and the iPad will automatically adjust and make sure everything is covered. We get True Tone, and the only other thing that I would say you might want to know is that it works with the same exact accessories as before. So if you are someone who has one of these portfolio keyboard cases and you have been using it with an old iPad, one of those iPads which uses still the 3-prong, you won't need to go buy another one. All the old accessories will still work with this iPad. Starting price for this iPad would be $329 at 64 gigabytes, but for education it's $299, and it's available to order today. Starting, I think it's available in stores or shipping next week. Next up, still continuing on the iPad, let's talk about iPad mini. And before I show you anything or any of the pictures, if you haven't already seen it, I guess this would be Apple's replacement or Apple's call to what Samsung has done with the Galaxy Fold. I guess that's how I would see its mini. It's not the mini we were used to, it's even more tinier. So let's take a look. I haven't held the mini in my hand, but looking at all the images and the videos, I think it looks really nice, and the body to screen ratio probably works out very well. I would say this iPad would be really similar to the iPad Air. So the iPad Air that got refreshed I think last year, it's very similar to that. We have Touch ID in the power button. We have a better display which is 8.3 inches. It's white color, True Tone, 500 nits, anti-reflective, and of course edge to edge. Basically, as I said, similar to iPad Air. You just take all that stuff, same design with the iPad Pro series, put that on the mini but at a smaller scale. Moving forward, one of the changes I would welcome the most is USB-C. It's also compatible with 5G, so if you do end up picking one of the cellular versions or the iPad mini, the camera system gets another bump just like the iPad, with a 12 megapixel camera on both front and back, and the front facing camera again has center stage, so it's pretty cool. Now, something different with the iPad mini is that it does not use the first generation Apple Pencil, and just because it's similar to the iPad Air, it uses a second gen Apple Pencil, and also it has its new smart portfolio cases. It starts at $499 and it's available to order today, shipping I think next week. Next up, let's jump to Apple Watch 7. Now if you take the Series 6 and Series 7, you won't see a physical difference other than the screen is much bigger, so it's much thinner bezels. It is what Apple calls crack resistance glass. It's a bigger display. As I said, this option now, because it's a bigger display, you can actually have full size keyboard to type or swipe. It has new watch faces designed for those bigger face. It's of course IP6X and water resistance. It has the same all the battery life from Series 6, 30% fast charging. So if you're charging, an 8-minute charge gives you 8 hours of charging on the Apple Watch, which is equal to, if you're doing sleep tracking, should be enough. Another thing with fast charging, the puck you get now is not USB-A, it's USB-C. And of course, we have all the new bands, all the new customization that you can do with Series 7. But something cool is that Series 7 is compatible with all the previous, I think, Series 6 and even Series 5 or Series 4 watch bands. So if you have any of the old bands, you don't actually have to buy new ones, you can still use those. And that's what I would say would be the biggest change compared to Series 6 to Series 7. Now of course there's bike workouts and there's waves, so if you're surfing and all that stuff, that ties up with Apple Fitness or just normal activity app. Something to add on with Apple Fitness, now the group workouts, and if you buy an Apple Watch you get 3 months of free Apple Fitness, so Apple Fitness Plus. And if you buy Apple Fitness, not with a watch, just individually, you get 1 month free. And finally, let's talk about how every year we have a new iPhone. This year it's called iPhone 13. I think after looking at overall Not super duper amazing update, but it's not even a bad update. Apple could have called it iPhone 12s, but I guess 13 goes well. So we have iPhone 13, and yes, iPhone 13 mini did not die, so that exists. So the lineup goes as iPhone 13 mini, iPhone 13, iPhone 13 Pro, and 13 Pro Max. Just like the last lineup from the iPhone 12s, we still took the same lineup. We still have MagSafe and we have Lightning ports, so no portless phones yet, but the key difference would be a smaller notch, a 20% smaller notch. So we do have a bigger battery and the internals have been redesigned. So if you have used an iPhone 12 mini, now you get 1.5 hours more in the 13 mini and 2.5 hours more in the 12. So from 12 to 13, not the mini, just the 13. The iPhone 13 and the 13 mini is available in 5 new colors. It does have the Super Retina display and of course the A15 Bionic. Now I'm not going to go in super detail when it comes to the A15 Bionic and how, like, what's in it, what cores, neural networks and all this stuff. If you are interested in that kind of video, let me know in the comment section below, but I'm really just going to jump over all that specs, if you get what I mean, because for many of the people, they're not really interested how many cores there are, how many neural network. It doesn't really make sense, so we're going to jump over. But in short, it's really, again, it's a very powerful chip. The mini and the 13, they both have only 2 cameras, so the wide and ultra wide. But something really cool is that from last year, if you remember, when the 12 Pro Max got announced, it has something called sensor shift. Now same tech has also been moved, I guess, to the whole 13 lineup. So the mini, the 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max all get the same sensor shift technology. But now let's talk about video, and something that does go across the whole lineup is cinematic mode. If you're aware of cinematography or how films are made or what kind of techniques are being used, something called rack focus, where I can be the subject and I can then be blurred out and another person is the subject behind me, or basically it's telling the audience that's where your focus should be. Now so far, if you really want to pull that off, it requires a lot of equipment and sometimes multiple people to rack focus to make sure the focus is perfect, and also basically it's not super one tap thing. But now with the iPhone 13 lineup, you can just do that straight from the camera and you don't actually have to do it. The iPhone itself can do it. You can be recording something, and if the person is looking somewhere else, like there's another person in the background, they're looking back, the phone will automatically switch the focus on the back. If the phone senses someone is about to walk in, it will automatically have the focus on that person. So honestly speaking, probably the coolest thing of this whole iPhone 13 lineup. Now I'm very sure this is a hardware based thing, so we won't get it as software, but it's like super cool to actually have that on your phone. Now I'm not sure how well it works. It works very well in the Apple commercial, so that's something we would have to see. Lastly, we do have 5G just like before, but this time Apple's saying that they will be expanding the network. And that's basically it. That's all with iPhone 13 mini and 13. Not a huge upgrade from the 12 lineup, but enough that if someone really is into cinematography, you will need that rack focus, or you need some sort of better performance with the A15 Bionic. That's an update. For the pricing, it's remained the same since the last, so whatever the 12 mini price was, that's the 13 mini price, but the difference is that you get double the storage. I guess before the base storage was 64 GB, but now the base storage starts with 128 for the same price. So the mini starts at $699 and of course 13 at $799. Before we talk about the 13 Pro, something that might people like if you use MagSafe and use the wallet, the MagSafe wallet, taking the inspiration from AirTags. Now if you do end up using the MagSafe wallet, so it has to be the newer MagSafe wallets, they have Find My built in. So if you end up dropping that wallet, then you can go on your phone, Find My, and you will be able to locate where the wallet is. And of course it will use the same tech that AirTags uses, where every other iPhone pings to find the location of that. And now let's talk about the Pro lineup, the 13 Pro and the Pro Max. A lot has not changed physically other than the notch. It's a smaller notch, and apart from that, it still has the stainless sides and the matte finish at the back. Cameras are very similar to the 12 Pro lineup. We have the 3 cameras and also LiDAR, so wide, ultra wide, telephoto. Now each lens has got an upgrade. Of course, they have the lens shift technology and they're just much better. The telephoto lens does 3x the zoom, so before it would be 2x, now you can do 3x. You can do macro video, macro slow-mo video, which is very sick. Now it does come in 4 different colors. 3 are the standard colors the way we had it before. One is pink, one is black, one is silver, and the other one
all new Sierra Blue.
Due to the changed internals within the iPhone, we do have a new battery, so it's much bigger, not a lot bigger, just a little bit bigger. So you get 1.5 hours more from the iPhone 12 Pro and 2.5 hours more from the 12 Pro Max. Talking a little bit more about the A15 Bionic and what it brought to the Pro lineup is ProMotion. And for someone who is not aware or heard of ProMotion, ProMotion existed from the iPad Pro 10.5 inch. That's the second official iPad that Apple made with the Pro tag. That's this one. And what ProMotion did is bring 120 Hz. It's variable 120 Hz, so the phone can adapt, the screen can adapt and change from 10 Hz to 120, giving you the most smoothest feel of using that device. And now that ProMotion linked up with the neural network of the A15 Bionic, depending on what you're doing, let's say you're scrolling through photos or depending on the speed you're scrolling, it will adjust the frame rate, which is really sick. Now, I know many people would have wanted it to go below 10, but I guess Apple hasn't done that, and they will probably do that on the iPad first. So maybe that's next year, but officially everyone has been waiting. 120 Hz are finally here on the iPhone. Now, of course, this is only in the Pro, not the 13 and the Mini. And lastly, something that will be coming to the iPhone 13 Pro and the Pro Max lineup, not right now, but later on throughout the year, is support for Apple ProRes, like actually being able to film ProRes straight from the iPhone camera. Now, if you're not aware of ProRes, it's a codec. Final Cut uses it all the time, and being able to film in ProRes gives you a lot of flexibility on your footage, so it's more like video related. So that's coming to the 13 Pro and the Max lineup. Now, something to know, it's only capped at 30 FPS. Now, it could be a software thing, not a hardware. Maybe Apple decides to unlock it later on. And the only thing that's really left is that the iPhone 13 Pro and the Pro Max is available in the 1TB options. They start at the same price as the 12 lineup, so $999, and Max for the 13 Pro Max, that's $1,099. And it's available to order this Friday, September 17, and it will be available or being shipped by September 24th. That was the whole event. I guess it was all right. I would say if I have to give it a score out of 0 to 10, 10 being the best, last iPhone event I would say was like a 9 for me. This would more like be a 4.5. It wasn't too exciting. The iPad mini is super exciting, but I guess it could be that maybe Apple is working on something else, which could be an October event. We could see new MacBooks, all that stuff. But let me know what you think. I hopefully covered everything. If there's something I did miss for the event, I'll leave that in the comment section below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. Hope you like this video. If you did, the usual, hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell, get notified, just the usual stuff. And I'll see you guys later. Hope you have a great day.